According to Insider Gaming with an exclusive, a new Lord of the Rings game is in development. I know it's been a hit and miss with a lot of the Lord of the Rings game like Gollum. We've also had games like Tales of the Shire, but I know what I'm hoping for. I want that open world RPG experience. I want that Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War experience. Let's dive deeper in what Insider Gaming has to say. Sources close to the game tell Insider Gaming that a new title is set to be at least partially funded by the Abu Dhabi Investing Office. This funding roughly equates to $100 million, give or take. So there is a huge budget behind this game. Now this deal has been in the works since last year, and while not signed yet, due to the number of moving parts, is said to be made official soon and could happen as early as next week. Regarding current funding of the game's development, it has been funded internally. As far as what the game will be, sources didn't want to say too much. What was said, however, that it will be a third-person action game that is designed in a way to compete with Hogwarts Legacy. That is extremely exciting. That can only mean one thing. That could only mean an open world RPG. It's already confirmed it's a third-person action game. Okay, I want that type of combat that we had in Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor. Like, let's bring all that kind of stuff back. Let's get the Nemesis system back in this game. I mean, this is the Lord of the Rings IP is where that was born. And you know, to compete with the huge success that was Hogwarts Legacy, you'd have to really make a game like Hogwarts Legacy. What was Hogwarts Legacy known for? To fully explore Hogwarts and the world around it, which means we're likely going to have a huge open world game with major iconic locations from the Lord of the Rings franchise for us to explore and to be a part of. The article continues, in addition to the ADIO, it was said that multiple parties are involved with the game, including Embracer, Revenge, and other studios. Embracer has had the rights to the Lord of the Rings IP for video games since 2022 when it paid nearly $400 million. It has since licensed out those rights to other companies to produce titles, including the much maligned The Lord of the Rings Gollum. Now, when contacted for a statement, Embracer says there's a general rule: we do not comment on rumors or speculation. Revenge, one studio said to be involved with the game, also declined to comment on rumor and speculation. Now, with Embracer Group, it is not all sunshine and rainbows. Have screwed up majorly with, of course, the Gollum game. According to Eurogamer, Embracer actually plans to release 76 different games in the next year. And last year, Embracer announced its split into 3 companies: Coffee Stain and Friends, Middle Earth Enterprises, and the Asmodee Group. They go on to say that this strategic move will allow Coffee Stain Group to focus more on its core strength as passionate game developers and publishers focused on delivering high quality experiences, Embracer said. And Middle Earth Enterprises will be renamed Fellowship Entertainment as a result, and will unite top creators and intellectual properties to build unforgettable experiences for the fans. Embracer said that the strategy is to transform into one powerhouse group with game development and publishing at its core, complement with transmedia capabilities within IP licensing like comics, merchandise, film, and distribution. And they were responsible for the terrible Saints Row game and unfortunately shut down Volition Games due to that massive financial loss. It seems Embracer has had a very rocky few years, and I can't really find any information about Revenge Studios and what type of games they've worked on in the past. However, with the Abu Dhabi Investment Office giving $100 million to this specific project, once again saying that it's going to compete with Hogwarts Legacy, they know what they have to do. They've already confirmed it will be a third-person action game. They know they have to make it a massive open world title. And as for the Nemesis system, unfortunately, Monolith Productions, the ones who made the Shadow of War and Shadow of Mordor games, are gone. The studio is gone, but the actual rights and patent to the Nemesis system belong to Warner Brothers. The only way the Nemesis system can be a part of this new Lord of the Rings game is if Embracer and Revenge get the license to use the Nemesis system from Warner Brothers for this specific project. Warner Brothers has said that they are more open now to license out their IP, but are they open to licensing out the Nemesis system? Because the next game that was supposed to use the Nemesis system, Wonder Woman, has been cancelled. Literally, Warner Brothers has no projects currently in development, it seems, using this system. And we haven't seen this system in a game since Shadow of War, which was a long time ago. So it seems Embracer Group and Revenge Studios have already internally funded this new third-person action Lord of the Rings game that is supposed to compete with Hogwarts Legacy. And on top of that, they will get $100 million funding from the ADIO. I think it's time, I really do think it's time for us to get an open world Lord of the Rings game. I also think it's time for us to get a freaking open world Game of Thrones game. Of course, we can't get too excited, but it's nice to know that there is a project with this type of scale in mind going on an Embracer, and whether we ever see this game, you know, it's still a long way out, probably the PlayStation 6 generation.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.